ever wanted to travel the world, but I don't know, are constrained by any certain amount of reasons, as is financial reasons, you might not be able to afford a plane ticket to Tokyo, Japan, or maybe your time because of work, clubs, or school just doesn't allow you to travel to Rome, Italy over the weekend, you know. So what's a piece of technology that allows you to do that from the comfort of your very own home? That would be the virtual reality headset. An amazing piece of technology or family of technology that has over the years been innovated in so much and it's created a truly amazing experience. I would recommend, if not like, I don't know what is past recommendation, but you should definitely try using these at some point in your life. They're amazing. Now, what this allows you to do is, frankly, anything you could imagine, just while it's, just keep in mind that it's only a virtual representation of your visual experience, so you're not gonna be able to, say, go to the moon and grab a moon rock and feel it in your hand. Yet, there are haptic gloves, haptic meaning just sensation-based gloves that you could buy that go along with the virtual reality headset and allow you to feel either just feeling, which would allow you to feel like as if you're picking up a rock, or even temperature. There are some gloves that heat up and cool down when you're trying to grab ice or put your hand through virtual fire. It's honestly amazing. The field of virtual reality headsets is just like infinitely expanding over the years. But for the speech, I will be telling you how these things work and what are some of their uses. Because you know, sure they might look frankly awesome, but if they're kind of useless and just meant for playing video games, then what's the point of them? So, firstly, starting with how they work. As you can see, they got two eye sockets or two lenses. Those lenses are going to take the light coming off the two individual LED screens located inside this case. They're kind of shaped in a V pattern, so each eye gets more of the screen because if you just set two screens in front of your eyes, you're kind of losing it on the peripheral. So what that V shape is going to do is give each eye more screen. And what those lenses are going to do is redirect that light coming from the LED screens into your eye in a way that makes it so you can actually, first of all, see. Because if you've ever held your phone right up to your face, you can tell it's pretty blurry and pretty, I'd say, annoying to your eye, pretty irritating. You can't see, and it's just very bright, and it's like you want to get it away, unless you're, I don't know, crazy. So what those lenses, more specifically Fresnel lenses, are going to do is take that light that's coming straight off the LED screen and then bring that straight line of light into a certain point, not to a infinitely small point, but just so that your eye can receive it, and then your eye can process that light information as it would do any other information, as if you were looking across the room to look at a poster or something like that. Then secondly, what it's going to have inside the actual VR headset are gyroscopes. Gyroscopes detect motion, rotation, and the Z or roll, pitch, and yaw axis, which is going to be X and Y, Z rotation. And it's just going to allow you so that when you put it on, you can move your head around and the headset knows in what direction you're looking at. Now, another fancy way it can tell in what direction you're looking at is actually quite amazing. It uses magnetometers, which, as you can tell by the name, it has something to do with magnets. And what it's actually going to do is track your rotation based off the Earth's magnetic field, which is honestly insane. And magnetometers are consumer electronics, such as which are located in things such as smartphones and tablets that are using compass apps by Earth's magnetic field and along the three perpendicular axes, X, Y, and Z. And that's as stated by Zen Reality Wiki, which is an amazing VR headset wiki which talks all about the technology. And speaking of VR and the technology overall, it's said to be worth around $184 billion by 2026. And VR is one of the fastest growing technologies in the world as projected by The Verge. It's an absolutely amazing field, and I honestly can't wait to see where it goes. But back to its components. After the magnetometer, you have the accelerometer. An accelerometer is just a little, if I had to explain it, it's, let's say you had to put a marble inside a box, not a giant box, just a box. And you can grab that box, and when you shake that box, you can hear the marble hitting the sides of that box. And well, it's just I guess an electrical version of that. So what the little mass in the accelerometer is going to do is when it hits the sides of that box it's in, theoretically, I don't know if it doesn't need to be a box. It can be like a 10-sided die. Doesn't really matter. So when that mass hits that side of the wall, it's going to send an electrical signal to the computer, which is connected to the VR headset via this wire or cable, and it's going to tell that computer, oh, I just hit that side of the box. I was moving in that direction, because when you stop moving the VR headset in that direction, that ball is going to want to keep moving, but guess what? It just hit that wall because of it, and then it stopped. So it knows in what direction it's moving because of that. And that wall is made of a piezoelectric crystal. Piezoelectric crystals are just a form of crystal. They're kind of rare. There's only a few variants of piezoelectric crystals, which is a type of crystal that when you squeeze or just put force upon it, it creates an electric charge. So even though this mass might be less than a gram, it might be an insanely small amount, when it hits that piezoelectric crystal, it's going to send a very small electrical signal back to the computer, and the computer is going to interpret that as some form of horizontal, vertical, or longitudinal movement, and that's what it does. And then as for the resolution of the LED screens located inside the VR headset itself, past the Fresnel lenses, if I had to put the resolution into context, it would be around half of that of an iPhone 12 exactly. An iPhone 12 is around 4,000 by 3,000 pixels length and width, and those LED screens are actually around 2,000 by 2,000 pixels per eye. And if you combine them in total to, I don't know why, you would get a resolution of 4,000 pixels horizontally and 2,000 pixels vertically. Just put that into context. And some of the uses of the VR headset, which are frankly so vast, you could really just keep going on, but I'll just explain a few. Some of those might be for military training. You don't have to give soldiers real guns or prop guns and then send them into some physical arbitrary maze where they have to hunt down a target. It can all be virtual now. You don't have to construct facilities for these military trainings. You can just construct a virtual one, which is honestly a lot faster. It's like rearranging a Lego set. That's basically all you have to do. Strap these onto the soldiers and send them into training. Visually, it's the same as any other scenario. You're just not going to get that haptic feedback, haptic meaning sensation of like feel. You're just not going to get that when you like bump into a wall, or like you can't punch people, I guess, at that point, but it's not really important. And another field is racing. Race drivers could strap this on, get a pair of pedals that hook up to a computer, and then an electronic driving wheel which hooks up again to the computer, and they can test out different braking points, different acceleration points, see how fast it can go through a corner, and maybe just remember or figure out how the general layout of a circuit goes. There's so many racetracks around the world, and it's hard to remember some of them. So you might have to go and run through virtual laps on a VR headset to figure out, oh, this corner is after this corner, and I speed up after this corner. Oh, there's a straight. Things like that. Another one is pilots, commercial plane pilots. You find this technology insanely useful because it means they can just train at home. These are very, very cheap when compared to a professional airliner simulator, which is this whole machine and contraption that tries to simulate the experience of flying a plane. But with one of these, you can just buy them, get them at home, hook it up to your computer, and pretend like you're flying any plane that you can think of. You could be flying a jet, you can be flying a little prop plane. It really doesn't matter because it's all just virtual. You can just get the physical controls themselves in a VR headset and you're set. Another one is firefighting. They no longer have to build these fake wooden houses, light them on fire, get all the equipment on, and then pretend, or not pretend, but go in there and put themselves at risk, not as much as a real fire, but put themselves at some amount of risk. Now they can just strap this on, put on your equipment so they're used to the weight and all that, and then run into these virtual houses where the walls aren't real, the fire isn't real. You can put virtual humans in there to emulate a dangerous situation for a civilian. You can do a numerous amount of things. And lastly, not lastly, construction is a very good one for it too, because what it allows construction workers to do, or planners, is put this on and reference what the finished virtual model of a building looks like. You can get the CAD model of a building, put it into the VR environment, look at it, and then take it off while you're at the construction site and reference the finished model plus the one you're looking at right now. And if things don't match up, guess what? You caught it in the development process. The building isn't finished, and then you realized it, catching errors a lot easier. And finally, now, the biggest, I'd say, one is like 90% of the market for VR headsets. Pure entertainment. Gaming, I'd say, is like a 50-50 with just watching shows and movies. And then, amusement parks also have started utilizing VR headsets at a crazy rate. They put them on rides like, have you ever been to a ride at Universal? All those simulators, those could simply be replaced with a VR headset, and you're strapped to this motion simulator. The motion simulator being the little cart that moves around here and there, so you feel like you're in a Range Rover running away from dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. You could simply just put yourself in those moving chairs and strap one of these on. You don't have to buy all these screens to surround the cart, and give each individual their own experience. Maybe this individual sees a T-Rex, maybe this one sees an alien. You know, a lot of potential with VR headsets. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching.